AIM-listed Tertiary Minerals is a mineral exploration and development company whose focus is on energy transition and precious metals. The company's key projects in Nevada, USA, and Zambia, and the group has just raised funds to bolster the exploration budget for this year. Managing Director Patrick Cullen joins us once again today to tell us more. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm very well. Good to see you again, Alan.
Good to see you too. Last year, we talked about the silver discovery at the Pyramid Project in Nevada, with further high-grade silver and gold samples reported across the North Ruth target. Can you tell us what you've got planned for Pyramid and North Ruth this year? I'm going to bring up a slide.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful slide. It shows an extent of some 530 meters of silver and gold play that we're looking to drill in this quarter. We've had some pretty exciting results. You've referred to it as the silver project. It's a silver and gold project. There's some significant gold shows there, and those are all at surface. They're from rock chip samples. What we've identified is a series of what we think are a reasonably consistent veins, certainly at surface. And yeah, we've trenched it. There's been 2 phases of trenching there, Alan, over last year. The decision was made towards the end of last year to go ahead and make the decision to drill it. And in fact, I'm expecting to have some construction teams in there as early as next week to start putting in access for drill pads. We're looking to put in 6 drill pads, and we're actually going to extend some additional trenching as well. We're going to extend one trench down in the southeast there, and we're going to put in an additional trench just to the northwest of that. So quite a few things are going to be happening beginning next week, and we're leading up to a drill program which I'm expecting to have up and running in this quarter still before the end of March.
When we spoke last year, we looked at some pictures, of course, of the area, and we also looked at some pictures of the Brunson Pass copper project, which of course is also in Nevada. I'm going to bring up a slide for Brunson Pass now. Can you tell us what steps you've got planned for here? Sorry, wrong slide.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's the Brunson Pass. Yeah. So, look, following on from Pyramid is the most advanced project we've got in the portfolio in Nevada, and of course that's the silver and gold focus. This now points more to the energy transition aspect of our portfolio. So we're looking at copper here. As you can see, very good infrastructure. There's a paved highway just to the south, running along the southern portion of that map, and indicated there are in yellow lines are the trenches that we have applied for permitting, and so that's well in progress and well advanced. And so the idea there, really the focus, the primary focus is in the southwest, and there's a collection of trenches planned there. But there's some very interesting secondary targets also at Brunson Pass, and we're looking at quite a substantial amount of trenching potentially up in the north there. That's all still in progress in terms of permitting, but this fits into the tertiary way of doing things. We've done soil sampling, we've done extensive periods of mapping and rock chip sampling and so forth. The geologist has been there on a number of occasions. I've been there myself in December, and the obvious next step is to get some trenching, similar to what we did at Pyramid. Get in there, start to understand the extent of these mineralization, the shows on surface, and again that leads to a better understanding and potentially drilling later in the year. So yeah, that's Brunson Pass, the copper.
Excellent. Of course, you have some key projects in Zambia too. So moving now to those projects, can you remind us what's been happening there? You've got drilling work planned for Jack's license, I believe, this year.
That's correct. Yeah. So at the end of last year, we were already committed to Jack's. You can see Jack's there in the southeast. It's placed on some very favorable geology, the lower Rowan, which is historically the target in the copper belt. It's also had a series of, historically, it's had a series of early stage exploration done on it, some drilling. So that's gone from the 60s and the 90s, and again in the mid 2010, 15, that sort of period, where First Quantum were involved there. We think there's a great deal of opportunity on this particular license. With our partners, Moashia, we've elected to option those other 4 licenses, which you can see. Mackay, way up in the northwest. That's close to the Sentinel mine. There's Enterprise mine there as well, First Quantum. Away in the east, Concola West, an opportunity there to pick up some ground in a very busy space and a historically very important copper producing area. Lubuila in the south, that's more along the lines of what we've picked up in Jags. It's very green field, but we think the same kind of opportunities. And Mashima North, it's non-copper, not copper belt like the others, but it's a very active and busy area. There's some of the historically richest copper mines just west of there. And it's a large license with a lot of opportunity. So we're looking to move ahead. In the meantime, since I've spoken to you last, I think on Christmas Eve, in fact, we were awarded our environmental permitting for the Jax project. So that drill planning is well advanced now. In fact, I've been talking with drillers, and we already had some discussions. We already had proposals in place end of last year. So we're just going to revisit that now and get a rig locked in. So yeah, very excited. I expect to be drilling at Jax in April at the latest. In the meantime, we may do some further, we will, depending on rains, we'll do some further work in preparation for our second group of targets there. So it's a lot of detail in that, and I look forward to updating you as we move forward. But yeah, we're pretty excited to get into Zambia. And I must say, we've had a good experience with our partners there in terms of the way we've worked around the application for the environmental permits. They're industry professionals, Mashia. They've been working. They're experienced guys working in the space for a number of years. At the same time, we're assisting with the paperwork, with permitting, and so forth. So we have our own representative in Lusaka, which is convenient because that's where the government departments are. And I'd like to make the point that we take it very important, like all the paperwork, all of the documentation, make sure that we've got everything's in order as regards our licenses, and I'm pleased to say that's the case. So that's the kind of approach we're taking there. We've changed the name of our Zambian subsidiary as well. It was Luangwa, and now it's called Tertiary Zambia Limited. So there's no confusion. We want to have a very clear and obvious connection to our subsidiary that the people in Zambia themselves can recognize, from the London parent.
Certainly, due diligence on projects such as these is very important, and it sounds as though Tertiary done a very thorough job there, which shareholders will be very pleased to hear about. Just moving on to the corporate front now, Patrick. You have just announced you raised $500,000 with an additional 100,000 raised via a broker option, which was very well executed. The board also participated in this fundraising. Does this now provide you with all the funding for your planned activities this year?
Certainly. I mean, we had funds going into that cash raise, and we already had the budgets in place for the upcoming drilling in Nevada, for example. Yeah, we're well funded for the projects. I always, look to have opportunity, to have money available for opportunity as well. So that's a position I think we're in, because we're still looking at other opportunities in Zambia, for example. We're still looking at opportunities in Nevada outside of what we currently hold. Where the copper price sits now, we think it's the time to the iron's hot, time to strike. And I think that we're certainly in a very strong balance sheet. I want to refer to the actual way that the raising was done. The broker option was important to us to allow existing shareholders to participate. But we've got a very exciting partner now in terms of investment partner with Sanderson Capital,
Yes.
who were an existing 3% holder, so they were already a significant shareholder, and they've upped that support to over 10%. They're substantial. And I think, we've had some good conversation with Sanderson. There's a very good fit. Sanderson's been invested through other vehicles in Nevada, in Zambia, Southern Africa, Botswana, for example, in the copper space as well. And I think there's a lot of parallels between our own ambitions and what their ambitions are. So what they'd like to be invested in. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very pleased about that, and I see that support going on into the future. It's a real boon for us to see someone showing that amount of confidence in what we're doing, and I'm hoping that the rest of the market will start to pick up on that message going forward.
Well, I think certainly seeing the share price reaction to that announcement, I think the market certainly has taken that on board, which is great news. So back to your activities for Q1 this year. You look set for a very busy Q1. I'm just going to bring up a summary of these activities. Yeah. Where do you see the value arriving for Tertiary shareholders, Patrick?
Tertiary's in a position now to make discoveries, for example, in Zambia, where we have good, solid, historic evidence to show that we're in the right sort of space. Tertiary's got a very compelling silver and gold project in Nevada, which we're looking to drill in this quarter, which I think is, the jurisdiction alone and the area that we're working in, it should provide a lot of comfort and a lot of interest. We have the technical partnerships on the ground in terms of our geologists in Nevada, in the people we work with in Zambia, in terms of the technical expertise that exists on the board, myself, in terms of our exploration and mining experience, our resources experience, the wider board I speak to. And so I think, the shareholder and the potential shareholder looking at Tertiary is going to see a series of news flows throughout Q1, Q2, and on into the rest of the year. And I think, if we get our timing right, certainly the copper price looks like it's in the right space. We see more interest in jurisdictions such as Zambia, and we see the government sticking to their plan to make it an investment friendly and a proactive space in terms of investment in the copper industry. I think, we're definitely going to be up for an exciting year.
A great year in prospect with lots to look forward to in the coming months. Tertiary Minerals looks very well placed for this year. Just remains for me to say, Patrick Cullen, once again, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan.